Welcome to the Scale Model Podcast. In this podcast, we aim to entertain, inform, and promote the hobby of scale model kit building with interviews, reviews, and news about the hobby. The podcast is available bi-weekly where your favorite podcasts are found. You can also get it from our website at scalemodelpodcast.com, where you can find show notes, photo gallery, and so much more. You can also subscribe to get notifications on all our updates, new episodes, and video content. Please support the Scale Model Podcast on Patreon. Patreon supporters enjoy early access to content and exclusive contests. Your Patreon support helps us to offset hosting and other costs to bring the podcast to you. Welcome to episode 155 of the Scale Model Podcast, sponsored by Cult TV Man and Sean's Custom Model Tools. I'm your host, Stuart Clark, and I'm once again joined in this post-HeritageCon episode from, first of all, west of Chicagoland, Mr. Terry Measley.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. You made it safely back across the border, obviously.
Yep, they let me back in. What did you bring back from Canada with you? Plastic models. Can I tell you about my plastic models?
No,
thank you.
Yeah, that'll get you through customs pretty damn quick. And from his exclusive lake house complex on the north shore of Lake Erie, it's Mr. Geoff Hyland. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you guys. Glad you made it back, Terry.
Yep, getting through Chicago took longer than I anticipated. It looked like it was going to be better than it was, but it wasn't.
That darn Chicago traffic.
Chicago.
Sigh.
That toddling town.
Yep.
That toddling town. All right. Well, first of all, thanks to all our latest Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee supporters, including our good friend Tony from Australia, who bought us a coffee.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. He said for all the stuff we've been doing and all that. So yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks to Tony.
Everything helps.
Yep. So a lot of latest news, a lot of contest announcements coming up. We're getting into prime contest season. So first of all, we have Drew Savage, from president of IPMS Silverwings. Good morning, Stuart, Terry, and Geoff. Continuing to thoroughly enjoy each episode. Hope to see some of you at IPMS Nats in August. It would be so kind for you to add SilverCon to your contest announcement rotation. I would appreciate that. On May 17th, we'll be hosting SilverCon 2025 with the theme of the Vietnam War. The flyer's attached with the details, and we'll put a link up to that. But thanks for helping us get the word out to all within range of Sacramento. We're in Northern California, in the Central Valley between San Francisco and Lake Tahoe. So it's Saturday, May 17th at the Town and Country Lutheran Church, 4049 Marconi Avenue in Sacramento, California. To qualify for the theme award, your entry just needs to be something from the time period of 1955 to 1975, not just military items. Could be cars, real space, etc. They're going to have vendors and raffles. Doors open at 9. Registration closes at noon. Judging starts at noon. We hope to have the awards finished by 3:30. It'll be a standard IPMS 1, 2, 3 format. We'll put the second and third place awards on the table and announce the first place and best of winners only, along with all the juniors 1, 2, and 3. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I like that. A lot of other shows are doing that now too.
Yeah.
It's a good way to speed things up.
All right, check their Facebook page for updates. So again, and that's from Drew. Next up, we have James Unger. Hi, Stuart. Can you please plug our 12th annual model contest and swap meet being held on Saturday, May 17th in Eagle River, Wisconsin. The location is about 3 hours north of Madison, where IPMS Nats were held last year. They've enclosed a copy of their flyer for more details. I truly enjoy your show and find your information very helpful in my modeling projects. I model a little bit of everything from cars, planes, armor to sci-fi. I also enjoy reading and just finished 100 Missions North by Colonel Ken Bell, who flew an F-105 during the Vietnam War. The book was an easy read and provided a look into the lives of Thud drivers during that difficult time. Check it out. And that's from Northwood Scale Models Fanatics with a P. And again, we will put a link to each club's website, which will then have information about the contest.
Up in Eagle River.
Up in Eagle River. You ever been up there?
I have. It's about a 6-hour drive from here.
Ooh, that's a long way.
I mean, it's the same as going to Wonderfest or Cincinnati or
the other way. Except it's the
same,
other way.
same as going south.
Same as
ironically,
south, except it's going north.
Just the opposite way. Yeah.
All right. So as always, if you have club announcements or you just want to have comments, suggestions, send us an email to scalemodelpodcast@gmail.com. All right. Latest hobby announcements. So this is we don't have a ton this week because we got a lot of our post HeritageCon coverage we're going to talk about. But let's start with a FAMO and a large scale gunship Chinook from Trumpeter in April. So first of all, the ACH 47A armored Chinook.
That's amazing. This is
Yeah,
amazing.
they released the Chinook in 35th scale previously, right?
Right.
Yeah, so this is the gunship version of it, and it's horribly beweaponed. Yes, it's
Yeah,
great.
Oh my gosh.
550 cal or M60 7.62, four window and one ramp mounted, two fixed wing 20 millimeter cannons and two M18 pod mounted 7.62 miniguns, or two 19 tube 2.75 inch rocket launcher and a chin mounted 40 millimeter automatic grenade launcher. Yeah, additional armor crew. Yeah, this thing will make a scene.
Yeah. Neighborhood watch. That's what this is.
Yeah, the aftermarket and 3D printer guys are going to have a field day with this. Well, I'm sure you can already get plenty of stuff like the rotor heads and stuff,
Yeah.
but
And they
all
provided
this other
masks,
stuff.
nice decal schemes.
Yeah, the masks are an absolute necessity for something like this.
I
Yeah.
love the names some of them came up with: Easy Money, Stump Jumper, or Birth Control. There you go. Need we say more? Uh, there was only one survived the Vietnam War, though.
No kidding.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure, once the enemy saw that,
It's a beast.
it is a beast, but it looks gorgeous by the in-house model builders on the link we will provide. All right. Next up is for transporting your heavy artillery. If you're in the German army during World War II,
Speaking of beasts,
speaking of beasts, the KFZ-9 artillery version by Trumpeter. This is the largest half-track that Germany used in World War II. Was developed in 36 by the FAMO company, and they put the initial version out in 39. 250 horsepower, and yeah, a
It's
large
big.
beast. Yep, normally towing like an 88 or artillery or whatever.
yep.
Looks
Tank
good.
transporters, all kinds of stuff they would
Yeah,
tow with this
good,
stuff.
good, good for your diorama. So these kits will soon be on sale through Trumpeter's distributors worldwide.
Nice. Very nice.
All right. Then Hobby Boss, they have a new Challenger and an Archer in April. So
Archer's
they have
neat.
a Challenger in 48 scale.
Oh,
Copying to me, obviously 48 scale's proving to be popular. I have to admit that 48 scale Sherman's just the right size.
hmm.
So this is a 48th one. What need more would we say? This Challenger 2 main battle tank. A couple of different schemes there. Some nice decals. 23 centimeters in length, 77.6 centimeters in width. 190 parts.
Yeah, molding looks good.
Yep. Lincoln length tracks,
Yeah.
which I had my first experience with last weekend on the Sherman. I'm impressed.
It's the next one that really caught my attention. It looks so
Yeah.
badass. This looks
Oh, the
badass.
Archer. Yes, Archer artillery system, 135th scale. This was designed by Bofors and BAE Systems.
It's a 155 millimeter howitzer on top of a Volvo truck.
Six-wheel truck. Yeah, the idea is it takes like two or three shots, then gets the hell out of Dodge.
Yep.
Yeah, move. I just love the truck, but having that 155 mil on the back of it is killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen video of this thing in action on how quick it can get set up. And like I said, it fires its shots and then the gun goes back down and off you go. So that way you avoid the counter fire, shall we say.
Yep.
Counter-
I really want to see this at a show. I want
Yeah,
to see
11
some guys building
sprues,
this.
490 parts, 41 centimeters in length, 9, almost 10 centimeters in width.
Me likey.
There you go. Do all sorts of things with that. Put a
Yeah.
plasma gun on it or like a Tesla gun. Make it like Command and Conquer.
Sorry, a what? We
A
don't use that
Tesla.
word up here. We don't use that word in Canada.
No. I'm talking about the original Tesla guy.
Oh, that guy, the reason.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, ICM. Did I put the wrong link on for the
Yes, you
ICM?
did. I noticed that earlier when I looked at it. I was waiting. I figured we'd mess up the show just for fun.
We'd mess up the show just for fun. Okay, why don't you move on ahead and I'll get the right link. Move on ahead to the Jag Panzer from
Okay, I'll
Das
Jagd
go
Werk,
Panzer.
and I'll find it.
from
Yes,
Das
from
Werk.
Das Werk, our buddies over at Das Werk.
Yeah,
Jagd Panthers, Jagd Panther, not Panzer. Yeah, G2.
that G2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Super Blitz series. It features all kinds of goodies: a metal barrel, PE parts, 6 markings. Um,
I was
they
asking
call it
guys.
in this series for quick and straightforward building fun. So I guess this is the curbside edition of the Jagd Panther.
Must be. I was asking some armor guys at HeritageCon, how do you pronounce all the SDKFZ 17? I always trip over it, and basically everybody says it's a G2. It's a Panther. Forget it. It's a Jag Panther.
Yeah, Jagd
And I
Panther G2. Yep.
forget all the rest of it.
Yeah, I never did find Neil's Panther 2 that he wants just for the running gear.
Yeah, I had a look too.
Oh,
I didn't see it either.
Yeah.
oh well,
But
that's
yeah,
too bad.
Oh
that's
well.
it's one of the, like you say, it's one of their Blitz kits. So
Yeah, Super Blitz series, second one in that series.
yeah. Okay, let's see if I did this right now. I still didn't do it. I think I just overwrote the wrong one. Yeah, I just overwrote the Jag Panther one. I'll fix it later. Go back to the Jag, refresh the screen, and ICM's 5 new releases for March. Let me correct it. Hang on. See, this is how people watch how the sausage is made.
Yeah, this is preparation, people. The value of preparation.
I just didn't hit the right link.
But the next one we'll
Okay,
go on. Oh, are
there
we?
you go.
Okay.
I refreshed it.
Ah,
There we go.
That's re-
Five releases for March.
that's
So
refreshing.
starting with Monty's office. I see what you did there.
I know.
Starting with Monty's office caravan, 1/35th scale.
I
awesome.
almost never get credit for all those witticisms. I never get.
Well, there you go. You get credit this time. How about that? So this is Monty's office vehicle. This
You
is
know,
a
this is
specialized staff vehicle, the Leyland Retriever. It
this is
was
fun.
Yeah, non-standard structure was installed on the base chassis, which served as a mobile field office. The vehicle was divided into 2 rooms. The small front room was equipped with a bathroom, while the larger room contained wardrobes for personal belongings and clothes, a writing desk with desk lamps, and a large sofa,
And the hot tub.
and the hot tub. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This
So
looks
pre
cool. I kind of like it.
Yeah, it is. I
Yep.
like this a lot.
Yep.
So I didn't know this. Previously, the office belonged to the Italian general and was mounted on a Lancia 3RO truck. After the vehicle was captured, the structure was transferred to the British Leyland Retriever. I
That's
didn't know
hilarious.
that. I did not realize that. And then after the campaign in Africa, it was moved to Europe. A lot of sprues.
Well, I would imagine so.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun looking thing. So that's a good one.
It
Yeah.
is.
So he also had 2 other specialized truck. One was converted into a mobile bedroom, while the other one was used for large staff maps and meetings. All 3 vehicles became known as Monty's Caravan, and they're currently on display at the Imperial War Museum in Duxford. And you
Cool.
can see how they all. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
It really is. I like it.
Yeah. And then we've got some Dragon's Teeth. These are anti-tank obstacles the Germans used. They're believed to have been invented in Finland.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of these all
Oh,
over.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
place.
Switzerland also used similar obstacles, referring to them as Toblerone fortifications.
Now
Yeah,
I wonder why. I
that
wonder.
makes sense. So there's 24 of them in the set, so quite good for your dioramas.
Yeah.
All right, then we have a little bit of an unusual one, a Ju-88, but a captured Ju-88 used by the U.S. Army Air Force and the RAF
Yeah.
for evaluation and testing.
Very
I like
nice.
I like these kind of wolf in sheep's clothing kind of aircraft.
Look at the
That's-
squiggle.
Yeah,
You-
captured markings are always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the German squiggles,
It's
and
an
then you have the
A5.
yellow U.S. Army Air
I have a
Force
whole
colors.
book on captured aircraft
Yeah.
from every group, like American ones captured by Japan and vice versa and all that. And some of these were the Americans had stripped them down, like a Rydens and some of these other ones, and painted them up, just left them silver and put American Signet on it. And like, oh, that's interesting. It's like,
Wow.
what plane is that? Yeah.
But this one's kind of funny look. I mean, it's interesting because the original, first of all, the squiggle camouflage on the
Yeah.
Ju-88 is pretty cool and hard to do anyway. But then they've also, it looks like when they painted the yellow on the wingtips, they put a big arch in it, like it's an arc. It's not a straight across.
Yep.
Oh, you're right. It looks like it's, oh, yeah.
That's a lot of work, even if you're in the depot trying to repaint these planes. Why wouldn't you just do a straight across? But no, they went all fancy.
Yeah. And the top and the bottom.
Yeah, it's
That'll be
neat.
fun to mask.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
I'm looking down here to see
Yeah, the
if they-
bottom looks like it follows the cowls, but
Yeah.
the top definitely is different.
Yeah. Like
And-
that's wild.
So you've got the U.S. Army Air Force one, and then you have an RAF one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what model is it? It's an A5.
There's
an A4
RAF's
and an A5.
Yeah, the RAF one's an A5, and the U.S. Army Air Force one is an A4.
I always liked the A series. They were kind of my quintessential Ju-88s, but that's just me as a kid.
Yep. And then for your diorama needs, a World War II Marston mat. This is a U.S. landing mat. When they had to, special metal planks used in World War II for the rapid construction of temporary airfield. They were also known as pure steel planking. They were made of steel, could withstand heavy loads, and allowed for the installation of a stable and durable airfield surface for various types of aircraft on soft or unstable ground. They had a perforated design which allowed water to drain easily without compromising the quality of the surface.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm a little
this-
confused because the title says 48th in the box.
Says
Says
72nd.
72nd,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Either way, it's useful to have.
hopefully they'll have it in both scales.
Yeah.
I would think so for sure.
Yeah. Okay, then we have self-propelled AA guns of the Wehrmacht.
These are fun too.
Yep, 35th
135.
scale.
135th scale. But look at that one, the half track. That's really funky looking.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep.
Very nice. So that's
Very
fun.
cool.
ICM once again comes out with some interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. You're gonna have to get yourself some flat guns, Geoff.
I picked up a whole bunch of little armor from that estate sale thing for the club.
Yeah.
And I started making them, and they're kind of fun. I must admit.
They are.
I have to get my head around painting and weathering them because I think it's quite a bit of a different technique than it is for aircraft. So
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, don't overdo it. Just have fun with them.
that's my thinking. I'm just going to go at it and have some fun.
Okay.
Pencils can be your friend with that too.
Weathering
Just to kind of
pencils,
do
yeah.
edges and stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of heavily getting into the pencil work, so that's fun.
Yeah, I've got an assault gun. I've got the assault gun painted, and the next will be weathering. I just have to kind of go back through my reference work on armor weathering. I haven't done it in quite a while, so
Mhm.
I'm going to do that. Okay, next up, this one's really neat. Our friends at Copper State Models, the Vickers Kleino Mark IV motorcycle. Well, it's more a trike, and this trike comes equipped with a side-mounted machine gun.
This is very, very funky. I like
and
that.
another bike you can store beside if you have to, split up or something. Isn't that wild?
It really is cool.
This I've never seen anything like this. I've never heard of this vehicle. So this
No.
is kind of cool. And it's Copper State, so you know it's going to be top
Yeah.
quality.
Well, you look at some of the Facebook pictures. Some of the engine details are just
Oh yeah.
absolutely gorgeous.
I just love some of the comments and further down. Alan Stevens, jaw just hit the floor, and my credit card was last heard whimpering in the depths of my wallet.
Definitely. So, yeah,
I like
gorgeous.
this one. Yeah, it's a sidecar motorcycle, but it's definitely heavy. It's not like detachable. It is.
No,
it's
yeah,
there.
you're right.
It's a
It's the
full
spare
pro-
wheel on there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
spare wheel. I thought there was a second motorcycle attached to it, but it's not. No.
Yeah. No, this is very cool. I can see this being a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can see some people really enjoying that. And the Copper State Models is always putting out some interesting stuff.
Good stuff. Yeah, very nice.
Very, 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 very cool. Okay, this was announced back in January, but Airfix now it's now officially hit the store. The Sepcat Jaguar, the GR1, GR1A in 48 scale. I put a link up to Hannett's. We can get it here for 92.72 from Hannett's. So roughly about 46 pounds in the US. Very popular and a very awaited kit by UK enthusiasts of
Yeah, I
UK.
look forward to that. I know there was another 48 scale Jaguar I've got. Was that also Airfix?
Um, I believe so. Yeah.
I think it was, but it's older.
Yeah. This is all new tooling, 48 scale.
Looks good. Looks very nice.
Looks very
100
nice.
bucks.
You can get it from Hannett's.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know there's going to be the aftermarket people will be and the
Well, there already
decal
is.
people. Oh, yeah.
Just look on the Hannett's page. There's already a ton of stuff.
Oh,
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of the generic ordnance and such from the period,
Yeah.
and it operated for quite a while. So
Yeah,
there's a
exactly.
lot of stuff.
Yeah. So that's always good. That's what's
But
great
I'm
about
sure
Hannett's.
the decals guys are going to have fun with this too.
Yep. Okay. Then we have another big Sherman, the 1/16th scale M4A176W rolls in from I Love Kit. So with the big ass gun.
These things are huge. I mean,
Oh
the
yeah.
116 scale kits are huge.
Well, we had a guy in our club bring one in.
Yeah.
A Sherman. Yep.
Yep. Dave.
Dave brought one in. This is the upgunned one. So this has a 76 millimeter M1 high velocity gun and a T23 turret. So
Nice molding effect on the cast.
The cast, yeah, the cast hull and the cast turret.
yeah.
Whole
Yeah,
turret
they've done
looks
a
pretty good.
really nice job.
These
Nice.
guys are getting kind of good at this.
Four
Yeah,
different
you
decal schemes.
think they know what they're doing.
Is
Wow.
that a rubber boot for the mantlet?
Wouldn't be
Kind of looks
surprised.
it, doesn't it?
It
Or
looks like it's
vinyl.
vinyl.
Yeah.
Vinyl.
Looks like vinyl road tires too.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm
And
sure the armor modelers have opinions about those things.
Well, the tracks don't look vinyl.
No, the tracks are length, but or not. I'm actually probably just individual. Yeah,
Individual.
but the
at that
idler
size.
wheels look like they're
Yeah, the road wheels.
yeah.
Now the fourth scheme here, would this be Korea? Very unusual numbering scheme there. The D scheme.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Well,
It doesn't-
listeners, send us an email and let us know. Is this Korean? He'll probably be in Scalemates.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, that's a nice looking kit. If you like, again, more and more 1/16 stuff. Okay, let's see what's new from our good friends at Scalemates. Full kits, new tool.
Ooh, I looked at this before. I saw a few that I liked.
Okay, so for March 31st, we have the Yak 36 Freehand, first Soviet VTOL attack aircraft from LEM kits in 1/32nd scale.
LEM kits?
LEM kit looks like they're out of the Ukraine.
Yeah, I see the flag, but I've never seen anything. I don't recall LEM kits at all.
No,
No.
they're doing
Oh,
that.
they
They're
got a
doing
few things.
yeah, they're
Some
doing
Japanese
a
ones in 32nd.
Japanese KI 78 Ken.
Sure, yeah, some kamikazes.
I like that they're working with sort of experimental or unusual subjects. That's a good thing.
Check out the Ken, the
I
KI
know. Look,
78 Ken.
that looks cool.
Yeah,
That's got Terry written all over it.
yeah, high speed.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna have to
definitely.
keep an eye open for these, or remind myself not to look for them so I don't buy more kits.
Yeah, there's that too.
Okay, then we have a company, Rare Bird Models, doing some float planes. The Late Core 631,
Latacour. Yeah.
Core, and the Cant 7511.
I gotta get the Latacour. Look at that thing. That's just awesome looking. It's
Look at
French
that.
and crazy, so it's got to be good.
It's
Yeah.
kind of a brute.
It is. And I can't. It's kind of. It looks like an airliner with big floats.
Well, the Italian's a nice tubular
Yeah.
fuselage on it.
But the Latacour, that is a weird looking plane. I like it.
If it's weird, Geoff will like it.
I will like it. I will.
It's
And
in
that
1144, so not too bad.
No, that'd be a model. Well, yeah, the Cant is, but the Latacour is in 172.
Yeah, that's going to be good size. That's
That's gonna be big.
it's a
that's
four
going to
engine
be
plane.
big. That's a four
Yeah.
engine big plane. Going down to March the 30th in boxes that look like they were stolen from Revell, a company called Triumph D. Williams, 172nd, a Nuberfuhrer, a SD KFZ 11, and a looks like a 40 mil gun.
Yeah, something like
No,
that. But
a rangefinder.
172nd scale, these are going to be tiny, but that is a dead ripoff of a Revell model.
I
It
know,
really
isn't it?
is.
The box, I know. The box art, you look at it and you go, is that Revell?
Yeah, that is like there is
Uh,
no arguing that one. I'm a lawyer. That you can't argue that is a
No.
ripoff.
the little half-track tractor is nice though.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how small the
HKL.
Devil Hunter is? Well, yeah, 172, that'd be like an inch
Tiny.
square.
Tiny. And then we have from SCT a tractor, a combine harvester in 135th. That combine harvester will be big in 135th scale.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Fire engine, 187th. Then we have Blitz with their 100 on the 29th with the 145 mil Model 16th artillery piece.
Nice. And the Renault EG.
To tow it. Yeah.
Yep.
Very nice. That would be an uncomfortable ride.
Then we have some mechs from Bandai Spirits from Machin Creator Waturi. This is where we need Anthony.
Wataru.
Okay, and then the most controversial one of the list today, David from Michelangelo.
Apparently
Michelangelo's David in 135th scale
yeah,
without the
apparently
fig leaf.
some principal in Florida got fired or was forced to resign because he let his grade 6 class actually see a picture of the
Oh,
Michelangelo
God.
statue.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, dear.
unbelievable. Parent
All right.
complained, "Oh my God, he saw testes."
All right, what else we got next year?
Playmax minimum factory Minori with Honda outboard engine.
That's an interesting
Awesome.
combination.
Now, who's buying it for the engine? Who's buying it for the girl?
I-
Interesting.
it's a win-win.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Okay, I like down on the 27th, the Matra MS670B, the 73 Le Mans 24-hour winner from our friends at Model Factory Hero.
Oh my God. Another crying credit card.
Yeah, that'll be a crying credit card. That's a
Look at
gorgeous looking
that.
car.
Yeah. The Matras are always funky looking, really
Yeah.
cool. And then the Petronas Mercedes AMG F1.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. 2024 British Grand Prix.
120th from New Scratch.
Everybody who got addicted to Drive to Survive will want that.
Yeah. Then we have a 4x4 and an F10 aircraft tug, medium type with large tow bar and tug equipment for either overseas or Europe. 172nd scale for your diorama.
Very nice.
Very cool.
And
a
then
one-
we,
Go ahead.
and March 26th,
Yeah.
their hangar. So like their plane.
Look, Bosch, their hangar. Das Work, 132nd scale, aircraft workshop diorama. That's pretty cool. With an MEP 111 or P1101.
Something in there experimental.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like-
they released that too.
yeah,
This is potentially really useful.
yeah. I could see it. See a lot of them.
Now, two experimental aircrafts, Sikorsky, the S-97 Raider in a resin kit from Anagrad Craftworks, and the Bell V-280 Valor.
Yeah. Very nice.
Interesting.
And Decno models with layered super solution in 48th.
Of course. That's cool. That's a neat color scheme.
It is. I mean, you
Yeah.
had the old Williams Brothers kits of these aircraft. Now, Decno's going after these 1920s, 1930s.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is
Well,
good. We
it's
needed some up-to-date molding because the Williams brothers were interesting, but they were tough to build.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
had to do a lot interior.
Yeah,
work on
and it's an area that's been overlooked for far too long of history.
They have because there were so many of these racers and experimental planes.
Mm-hmm.
One-offs, really.
Very cool.
DD-17, the USS Smith in 1/350th scale. Looks like a World War One destroyer, Smith
It
class,
does. A four stack
four-stacker.
destroyer. Yeah. And then on March
Huh.
24th, you've got the Gotha P-60N1 Nachtjager, Luft 46. Another one of them Luft 46 guys.
Yep,
Kind of cool.
interesting.
Looks like a usual Luft 46.
Yep. Then we have a 76 millimeter divisional gun M1942 ZIS-3 in 1/16th scale. That's you're going to be a new tool, or you can get it. You get it as a 3D file.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a number of these that are 3D files. Some of these,
Yep.
yeah, we'll have to see how they go.
Oh,
And Zvezda's come out with a new molding, new tool, Vostok 1 in 1/44th scale, which is probably not a bad thing, although it's Zvezda. So
yeah. May not be able to get it over here.
I
And
wouldn't want to get it, period.
exactly, yeah. Then we have the German light cruiser SMS Wiesbaden and the Bremen
Yeah.
from the First World War, 1/700 scale.
And there you go. There's for you, Stuart, a Porsche 911.
Ooh, that's nice.
It's a, com-
GT2 RS.
it's a combo kit.
Yeah,
2-in-1, 124 scale Porsche 911s.
cool. And the back to the 20th, we have the SMS Kohlberg in 1/700th. You're going to be able to recreate the Battle of Jutland at this rate.
Exactly.
How about the Cauldron C460 in 1/48 scale? Look at that.
Yeah, Cadrons.
Some sort of racing plane.
Yep.
Oh, but look further down, March 19th, Tupolev Tu-143 Ray's photo recon from ClearPop.
Yeah.
What the hell is that? That looks like a Thunderbird machine.
It looks like a missile or something. Unmanned, definitely.
Yeah. That's whatever it is, it's cool looking.
Different. Anything else that's catching anyone's eyes? We're getting near the end here.
Yeah, lots of 1/700 scale stuff, wargaming stuff.
Oh, someone's got a Casablanca out under March 18th. 17 S model out of China, CVE 55. Casablanca. It was a light escort carrier, 1/700 scale S model out of China.
Very nice.
And they're also doing some, how about this, 1-144 light tanks. These will be tiny.
These will be thumbnail size.
Look at them.
That's definitely wargamer size. And then they've got the Brunhilde in 1/3000 scale
Oh,
from Legend of the
nice.
Galactic Heroes. That's pretty awesome looking.
Kotobukiya is doing it. I'll have to pick that up.
You said earlier, no more kits. What's the matter?
Oh, well, I mean, there are exceptions to
Now,
everything.
Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Why? I think I've heard of that, but look, that was like a German sci-fi.
No, it's an anime.
Was it an anime? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it's a very Germanic theme. There's two big factions.
Okay.
Yeah. And
All right.
I haven't finished watching it. I was watching it for quite a while when I was traveling a fair amount.
Oh,
It's a lot of politics,
is it? Okay.
which is fine.
You know what? I can't believe we didn't include this because I think it was just after we recorded. Coter's announced their next kit for late 25, the Hawker Hurricane Mark 1. Or did we
Yeah,
already?
we spoke
We
about
talked
it.
about that? Okay,
Yeah, we did.
we're
Yeah.
back 2 weeks ago then.
We're back.
I'm looking forward to that Hawker Hurricane. That's going to be awesome. I'm just going to say that again.
Well, we know that. I mean, it's Kotare, right? So
Right. You can't go wrong.
I hope that's how we pronounce it. It's one of those.
That's
one of
what
those
it's. Yeah, it's Kotare. It's somewhere in
It's a New Zealand bird.
New
It's a
Zealander,
Zealand bird.
so
Yeah.
you don't get your vowels quite right.
Right.
All right.
All right. And that's what's new at ScaleMates.
Very
Let's move on to see what's new and exciting as always, because there's always new and exciting things at Cult TV Man. Let's see what's new and coming soon from our good friends at CultTVManShop.com. Leading off, just in the Strange New World Starship paint masks for your Enterprise. These are updated paint masks for the Strange New World kits featuring revised Aztec paneling and added windows. Full painting masks for the Aztec paneling includes masks for the primary and secondary saucer and illustrated instructions. This set includes all the window masks. You do not need to purchase these separately. Also in, but already sold out and on back order, but you can get yourself on the list. The Space Battleship Yamato, $31.99, 1/1000 scale from Bandai. It's a new kit of the $31.99 Yamato, approximately 16 inches long when assembled, based on the Be Forever Yamato Rebel $31.99 movie. Includes a display space, small Cosmo Tiger II fighters. Can optionally be built as the 2205 version. That is, you can get that for $79.99. Then a bunch of classic pre-orders here from Atlantis. First off is the USS Brooke DDG-1 1 to 3/10 scale from Atlantis. This was a vintage monogram ship. That's for $22.99. Then we have the Forest Patrol Rescue Helicopter Snap Tight Kit 1/72 scale. This was a vintage monogram as well for $15.99. They have a vintage Aurora, an A7D Corsair 1 to 48 scale for $29.99. And how about the Fokker DR1 Death Angel 148 scale with trading card from Atlantis? That's a vintage Aurora aircraft as well. Then we have some cars. The Dodge Demon Funny Car 1/16 scale from Atlantis, $54.99. And that is a Revell reissued. Also, the classic Tom Daniels Red Baron 1/24 scale from Atlantis, the vintage monogram reissue, $29.99. In all these cases, you're saving a couple of bucks by pre-ordering now from these. So make sure you check those out and all the other goodies from culttvmanshop.com and tell them the Scale Model Podcast sent you. All right, we're back. We went to HeritageCon, gentlemen. We got the whole gang together. You know, we not only did Terry come up, but we got Anthony. We managed to drag Anthony out of retirement.
Yeah.
And Terry brought up his Musaru Cup entry. And unfortunately for our listeners, you can't see it. We're only an audio program, but my God, was it a good. You didn't win, Terry, but
yeah, and I understand the reasoning behind it. And if I had repositioned it a little bit where the submarine was definitely the subject, because honestly, yeah, the Kraken is the subject of my presentation.
True. But yeah, still amazing. It was just an amazing shadow box, and people should see it. So hopefully, you're gonna put some photos on.
I'll put some photos on.
The winner was fantastic, though.
Yeah, the Model Geeks did a great job.
Model Geeks, yeah,
they did a great job with the B-24 and locked in combat.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good. All right, so let's. We've got 3 recordings, but before we get to our first one, which is where we're talking our observations at midday with Anthony, what about for the whole show post HeritageCon? Geoff, what are your observations, your comments?
I thought it was an excellent show. It was top notch. It was it was heavily attended. It was more than last year, as far as I could tell. Just sort of my own thing. The quality of the entries on the tables were outstanding this year. And that's not to say in the past, when I was competing, they weren't outstanding, because they were. And but this year when I wasn't, I'm glad I wasn't, because they were so good. Really a top quality show.
Yeah, most of the stuff I saw on the tables was very good. And
amazing.
Very good in all categories. And there was a ton of Mecha Gundam sci-fi stuff, which is great to see. And the other thing I would say is I've noticed it in the last couple of shows, but I definitely noticed it this time, that the demographic is changing. It's not skewing as old and farty as it has always been.
Mm-hmm.
And
especially on the farty part.
Especially on the farty part, thankfully. Yeah. But it's definitely, there's a younger demographic. Kids were there.
Yep.
Young parents, fathers and mothers with their kids, showing their kids. It was great. It was really good.
I think it's kind of disparaging to say that those are all going to be Gundam modelers, because very few people model a single subject.
True.
Very few, I think.
other
There are
thing-
certainly some who do, but
Yep.
yeah.
The other thing I'll do a shout out to, I can't remember the name of the group though, but that was the War Gamers, the guys who had the tabletop
Oh, yeah.
wargaming. But they were that table was packed. They were doing like a World War I aircraft air
Yep.
battle,
hmm
and it was packed with young kids, really young kids, almost all day, and they were really getting into it. So I thought, kudos to them. That was very successful for them.
Terry, what about you? Any other comments?
Yeah, I'll echo all of that. The quality of the stuff on the tables. There's not, not everyone is up on a competition level, but I wasn't, I didn't see anything that anyone would have been embarrassed to bring.
Nope.
Honestly,
Exactly.
stuff was good, and a lot of room. People have room for improvement, and I saw a lot of people talking about and talking to people who had brought their stuff along. Talking about what they did, how they did that. The Side 6 guys were obviously there with the Gundam stuff, and one of the exhibits was a guy who had a number of LED lamps around his mecha, and he'd use the fluorescent
hmm
fluorescent paints to do markings and stuff. They look pretty good, and it's like he needs to go just build a shadow box with it, they look really nice. It's the first time I'd seen those things, those fluorescent pigments in use, and they look really cool.
Cool. I'm going to echo all that. The one that really stuck out for me, I believe he was 14, but he did the diorama with the Catalina locked in combat with the U-boat. It was based on a true story where the pilot it destroyed the U-boat, but they were mortally damaged, and the pilot unfortunately passed away of exposure before the rest of the crew could be rescued. But for that, he won a Victoria Cross. But that diorama was just unbelievable. And then when you found out a 14-year-old did it, he definitely got one of our scale model podcast poker chips.
Yeah. There are a
Yeah.
lot of good ships, a lot of good naval stuff there.
Oh,
Yep.
a lot of good stuff. There's an Enterprise, the Tamiya 1350th Enterprise with a
Yep.
full air wing on the deck, and it was just really well
Mhm.
done. So,
Yeah, that one got a poker chip as well from us.
Which one was
yeah.
it? Akagi, was it? One of the destroyer, one of the conversions? Japanese conversion
Yeah, I believe
carriers?
yep, I
Yeah.
believe so. That was there.
Yeah.
And there was the one thing that I noticed that I sort of walked by and I thought, oh, it's another Vulcan. It's a Vulcan. Whoopee. I looked at it, I read it. It was a 1/48 scale scratch built Vulcan. And it was so well done that I didn't guess it was scratch built. I didn't even think it was vac. I thought it was a regular kit from some obscure
Mhm.
manufacturer. Beautifully well done. So anyway, really interesting to see all these things. And there was one guy who brought it's not plastic, it was metal. He obviously spent a lot of time building this massive metal race car from what, the 20s or the 19th?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
like a Maserati.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was it like what, 1/4 scale or
Yeah, it was
1/5
huge.
scale or something?
3, 4 feet long. It was
Yeah.
and it was beautifully craftsman-like done. And so, I mean, it wasn't going to qualify for like IPMS because the it wasn't a plastic model, but it was
Well,
just.
it doesn't have to be a plastic model. He could compete with that.
Oh, you could have.
But I
didn't
think
know that.
I think he just had it there as display.
Yeah, because it was huge, but it
And
was
it
beautiful.
attracted a lot of attention all day.
Mhm.
Yeah, just a great job.
Definitely. Well, we were in a great spot. We were right in front of Vera, the Lancaster, undergoing a servicing. So we had a lot of people come by and talk to us, the Plastic Model Mojo and the Modeling Insanity. We had 3 of the podcasts there, and a few other people from a couple of the other ones popping by. So no, it was awesome. So we're gonna start with the recording that we made around midday with the 4 of us, and then we'll come back. So here it is. Stuart here from the Scale Model Podcast, and we got the whole gang here at HeritageCon. We got Geoff.
Yeah, you got Geoff. I am here.
We
Yes,
got
indeed.
Terry.
Good afternoon. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. And we managed, guess who we managed to drag out at such an early hour in the morning? Mr. Anthony
Yeah,
Goodman.
you had to catch me with a net, but I'm here.
Yeah, had to catch him with a net. So, HeritageCon, what time is it? It's around 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's model time.
It's
Oh,
model
yeah.
time. We're here in our mobile studio. beside those crafty buggers at the plastic model
The
boat show.
ruffians.
Plastic
The
model.
ruffians.
Yeah, they're dangerous. We don't really
Dangerous
want
guys. We don't associate with them.
No.
There's aliens.
But we do have the winning Musaru Cup entry. We
Oh
think.
yeah.
We
Is it
hope.
determined?
Yes, yet to be
I
determined.
think we have a good shot this year.
I think we have a very good shot.
Terry crossed the border with his outstanding diorama.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
I'm going to raise the objection flag if we don't win.
Ha.
Oh, I think we're going to do more than that. We're just going to start breaking things.
I see.
Yeah, it's going to
So-
be interesting.
So, thoughts, comments so far? There's an absolute ton of people here. The models are still filling up on the tables.
Yeah, they're still growing.
Yeah.
Talking to Alan Morrell this morning, he mentioned they had over 1,000 registrants with 800 models. But that doesn't sound right because it could be
the other way.
around.
Yeah.
Anyway, either way, it's a lot. It's more than last year.
Yep.
It may approach the post-COVID show, which was I think 2 years ago,
Yep.
which had the pent-up demand coming out on the floor. But it's outstanding. It's great. The vendors have been fabulous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's been bad.
Yeah.
Have you all been bad?
Oh yeah.
Anthony's
Yeah.
been bad. Terry.
Not too bad. Not too. I bought
Not too
stuff.
bad.
I haven't run out of Canadian cash yet.
Jeff was bad.
I
and
was
I've
bad.
been bad.
I was bad. I found two wingnut kits that I
Yep.
was
Wow.
missing at reasonably decent prices, and one sort of I can't remember the name of the manufacturer, but it's the equivalent of a wingnut quality. It's like the follow-up to wingnuts.
Copper
Was
State
it where the
models.
molds changed hands?
No, it's not the
Copper?
same
It's
molds,
not
but
the-
it's just the
yeah.
it's the
Yeah, Copper's-
manufacturing.
Copper State?
No, it's not Copper State. I'll find out and I'll tell you
All right.
later.
Yeah.
Put it
All
in
right.
the notes. But whatever.
Or Hong Kong?
The molds is fantastic. The instructions are just like wingnuts, beautiful wingnuts.
So I, if I'm remembering correctly, the molds from that whole debacle, they did change hands,
No,
right?
only
not yet.
only two.
Only the Lancaster.
The only ones they never changed hands because they never got into Wingnuts' hands. They were being made by Meng,
Ming, yeah.
and then Border was doing the
Oh,
Lancaster.
okay.
So they
Yeah.
took them because Wingnut's didn't pay them for the tooling.
Aha,
fees.
but
So
they did eventually
got
release
the Fokker
it.
triplane.
Yeah,
They got
That's
the
okay.
triplane and
Yeah.
the Lancaster.
Okay.
All the rest are still owned by Peter Jackson.
So they're somewhere out there,
They're somewhere
locked
out there.
away in a
Somewhere in
vault.
Peter's basement, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here you are, buying up all the ones you've missed at inflated prices, right?
Well, no, these were not. I got
Decent.
one for $90.
So that's probably retail at the time they
That
came
was- I
out.
think
Yeah.
they were about $89.
Yeah, okay.
Depending on the plane.
So that's not terrible.
120 or
Yeah.
you get-
I think they've settled back down a bit, right?
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
starting to, and I think it's because other manufacturers are stepping up to the.
And they're
similar
just as good.
quality.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
That's what I think exactly
Awesome.
what's going on.
So
But
it's been great, and we've got a lot of representation on the table. Oh, I see Dave Curtan's Gulf Colors
yep,
shuttle
Dave's here.
shuttle program over there.
Yep.
Bill Webb just walked past.
There's
Yep.
R2D2 on the floor rolling around.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got the stormtroopers
Yeah,
and
the
all that.
501st.
501st.
Always a good show.
Yeah.
Good time. But yeah, no, some amazing stuff. I've put a few challenge coins out.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I did a
Already.
couple too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any. I gotta load me up and I'll
Oh,
go.
so
I'm gonna
Oh,
wait
yeah,
till the
we got-
morning crowd.
Yeah.
settles
I
down a bit
haven't
before I go out and
fully
take
looked at
pictures.
everything yet.
It was great to be able to walk around. Stuart and I got here earlier than you guys, while the vendors were setting up, and no crowds. It was just so great. But right now, you're basically squeezing
Yeah.
through.
It's always like that.
Oh, you hear that?
Hear that? Poker
coming to
chips.
your model.
There we go. Challenge coin. That's right.
I get a lot of enjoyment out of handing these out.
I know.
Yeah, Terry and I did it back in last year's
Wonderfest,
Wonderfest. Yeah,
yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
That's right. Anything that's particularly stood out for you guys?
Oh yeah.
Here's
Geez,
Adam,
I haven't
just
seen
walking
enough.
by. I have
Yeah, lots of
not-
friends.
We haven't
No, I
seen
haven't had a
enough yet.
chance to walk through the
Yep.
kits too much, through the just entries very much.
Right.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of entries from our club.
Good,
Guys from
good.
our club.
Yep, well
Excellent.
So this is
represented.
good. Anthony, you've got a
Yeah, I
couple
brought
in
3
there.
out. Yeah, but haven't. About three things that haven't seen the light of day yet out in
Frank
contest world.
Donati, I mean,
He had 10.
We won't talk about him. He put 10 on the table.
I'm not sure if it was 10, but he had a lot of.
I think it was 10. I think he said
yeah,
he
he had a
went
lot
to
of
the max
papers.
'cause he could do
Well,
a max.
it's-
So we just have to start finishing up those shelf queens.
Yep.
Then we'll have
Exactly.
10 to put
Hanger
out.
queens.
Well,
Hanger queens.
Hanger queens.
Yeah.
You got to see all these hanger queens
Yeah.
because you were bunking over at Anthony's place.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We had a great weekend so
Yeah.
far. We did a little London hobby shop crawl. So Not all of them, but we showed you the gems.
Yeah, Neo
Good.
Tokyo
Yep.
and
Yep.
Brochdale.
Good. Yep.
Yep. So we got a good spread there, and then
Jason's from Rockdale is supposed to be here today. He's going to come by.
yeah,
visit-
excellent. That's
visit,
right.
So we might
Yeah,
see him
very
today.
I
good.
bought another dreadnought at Neo Tokyo.
You did? Oh,
I
dear.
can never have enough Yamato dreadnoughts.
There you go. There you go.
And a
They'll
couple on the
definitely-
table.
I
Yep.
picked up a few from Yamato, from the IP. Yamato.
The
There you go.
Yamato.
I had to say it wrong once.
You do that at least once.
I got to do it at
Yeah.
least
That's
wrong
become your
once.
stick. People have actually come up to us
Yeah, I
today
know.
and said, "Oh, come on, say
You,
Yamato."
Say it.
you got to
Say it.
have that on a shirt now,
Yeah.
right? Like you need
Yamato,
joke shirts.
not
We have to
Yamoto, or vice
embroider
versa.
Yeah.
a ball cap that's
Yeah.
like whatever, it's Yamoto.
But I've been good. Yeah, I bought some of the smaller scale ones.
Yeah, excellent.
I don't know what scale they are, but they'll fit on a shelf much easier than.
There you go.
like a 1/350th.
That's a problem for another day. That's what I
Oh,
say.
there is some amazing builds that I've seen already. There's a Super
Yes.
Star Destroyer that was 3D printed,
Right.
Yeah.
and the LEDs there are just fantastic.
Can't wait
Yeah,
to
there's
see
a
it
lot
up
of light
close.
coming from that Star Wars table.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm looking
Very
over.
nice.
I'm seeing Frank from the Modeling Insanity over there,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah, I
Robert
spoke
Adams.
with him
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah. A lot of podcasts are represented here. We got the Plastic Model Mojo as well,
Yep.
Yep.
and the Modeling Insanity. So a lot of people here. A lot
It's
of people
good
here.
turnout.
It's a
lot
threefer.
of,
Seems to
young
be.
people.
Yes.
Not
The,
just a
the
bunch
crowd
of-
is really
Yeah.
mixed. It's really diverse.
It's a
Yep.
diverse group.
Yeah.
It's nice.
20-something guys showing their girlfriends around. That's
Yeah, I'm
that's
impressed.
great.
I'm
yeah.
impressed.
Girlfriends are actually here.
Interested. And interested.
I
I
Here
think you'd
and
be
interested.
surprised how many competitors are female.
Yeah, well,
I bet
especially
you
now in
would
the
be.
science fiction and figures,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's always been dominated by
Yeah.
women.
Yeah, absolutely. And
It's just great to see. It's been interesting. We ran into Tim Kidwell from Fine Scale Modeler. He's here.
Dave Knight's beside us here with his IPMS Canada.
okay, he just took. Okay,
IPMS
Dave just took off his
Canada
sweater.
Oh.
He's got the IPMS Canada
I'm not
sweating
100% sure
beaver.
how I feel
Hundreds
about
of
that.
beavers.
Like, do we need to take him behind the Lancaster and get that shirt
No,
back?
we made him an honorary Canadian.
Or did we give that to him so we
I
could
think
sneak
we
him
gave-
up
I
from
think
the
we
border?
Gave that.
That's how we
I think
did
we
it.
gave
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
All
in
right.
enemy territory.
I just wasn't
He's gotta
sure.
wear
Are
a
we
disguise.
on the attack or
No,
are we allies?
no. These are our good friends.
Okay.
We
okay,
made the
I
effort to
understand.
come up here, man.
Yeah. I've talked to a
true.
bunch of Americans today, and the consensus is,
Yeah.
they're happy to be here.
Good.
Which is really
And we're happy to have
I
him,
also
right?
had a guy come by who's representing, Protect Ukraine, and
Yes.
he was handing this out.
Okay.
For our listeners,
Yep.
it's toilet paper with Vladimir Putin's face pasted on it.
Perfect.
Said we could use it later, so there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, there's a lot of faces I could be happy to see on toilet paper these days.
Not that many, just a couple.
Just a couple. Yeah.
Couple troublemakers.
Couple of friends.
Not to get us into too much trouble with our American friends, exactly. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what's happening. So I think we'll wrap this up. This has been a great segment. We wanted
Awesome.
to let our listeners know I've been already throwing pictures out on Facebook,
Very
and I know
nice.
everyone's going to take pictures and submit them, and I'll get them on for the next episode.
Yeah,
Yeah, it should
So
be good.
that'd be
Wonderful.
awesome.
make an
Be
album.
good.
All right.
Yeah.
So go and enjoy. Go forth and shop, and go forth and
Well, go forth and let your kits multiply.
That's right.
let
Don't
your
go
kids
home with
multiply.
money.
Don't
Let
go
the
home
plastic
with
Take money
flow.
home.
Don't
No
take
money
money home.
home.
All right. So for this segment, my name is Stuart Clark.
My name's Geoff Hyland.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Terry Measley, reminding myself to save money for some Timmies on the way home.
There you go.
geez.
Thank you, and be well.
Yeah, and as you can tell from the recording, I sounded a bit tinny. We had a little bit of a technical issue with my mic, unfortunately. So I come across sounding a bit tinny. The rest of the guys sounded fine. Unfortunately, that's a technical issue. I forgot to flip a switch on my home recorder. But there we go. But at least we got it. So the second recording we had a lot of vendors, and we had Kit Mask. They're out of BC. They're now a Canadian company that are providing masking sets for aircraft. And Anthony had a chance to talk to them, and Geoff and I talked to them. And Geoff, you got a free mask out of them.
I did.
Wow.
I didn't want to have a free mask, but like I told him that I'd made a kit and I tried to make my own stars and bars mask, and it's hard.
Ah.
He agreed that the math is very specific for American stars and bars
Mhm.
in particular, and he said, "Here, take this," and I said, "No, let me pay for it. You're a small company. I don't want to take a freebie and whatever." He says, "No, seriously, take it and try it. See what you think of it." So
Yeah,
these guys, kudos to them. I haven't tried it yet, but I opened it up and looked through it, and the instructions are clear, and there's lots of different variables for different sizes of stars and bar markings. So yeah, they were great. It was great. And also interesting, Anthony picked up a Lancaster from another one of our club members who was selling at one of his tables, a 1/72nd scale Hasegawa Lancaster
Yeah.
with Canadian star markings, search and
Yeah.
rescue. And he bought it from Kerry Trainer, who had bought it from me, who was selling it on behalf of a family estate. So it kind of like very incestuous at this show. And anyway, yeah, Anthony got it, but then he looked at all the masking that he'd have to do, and he thought, this is crazy. After interviewing them, they said, we can make a set of masks specific for the Lancaster. So we went over to talk to them afterwards, and sure enough, he's taken away with the clear sprues. And what he does is he actually tapes Tamiya tape over them, and then traces off pencils out each window, each transparency, puts it back down from a 3D form into a 2D form, and then works and works and works until he gets it working. And then he flips it into CAD, I guess, or something. But whatever it is, these guys know what they're doing. Husband and wife team, and they did a great job. So really cool, and happy to promote them as much as we can.
Yeah, I used their masks on that P47H.
Yes,
I got a couple other ones as well.
Yep. So
I'll have to keep an eye
they've
open.
got a huge waiting list. Anthony's, I think, are going to be done in September. But not surprising when you look at all the different kits that are ahead of him in the queue. But some exciting stuff coming out. They've even got a insignia marking set for those Brian Lane Spitfires we have, Geoff.
yeah, which would be great. And
Yep.
the other thing too is they don't charge to do the custom work.
No, in
Because-
fact,
because at
they
the end
send
of
you
the day-
they send you three masks.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they've used your part to make a product that they now have the intellectual property on,
Sure.
and then you
Yep.
can sell it and sell it and sell it.
Yep.
And a Lancaster, my God, that's you got to have that because it's the massive greenhouse canopy. Anybody would want
Well,
that.
exactly. So, okay, so here's Anthony's interview with Janelle from Kit Mask.
All right. Hey, listeners, you remember me? It's Andy. No, I mean Anthony. Scale Insider. Remember that? There was a little series? Okay, so we're at HeritageCon. I got Stu here engineering for you, for us. I have a very special guest, and I only come out of retirement when I see something super cool. So I have Janelle from Kit Masks.
Yes, well said.
Welcome to the show, Janelle. How are
Thank
you?
I'm great, thank you.
What do you think of HeritageCon 17 so far?
It's blowing my mind. It's very, very busy.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
And you guys are from where?
We're from Kelowna, BC.
Kelowna, BC.
The Okanagan.
Okay, so is this your first trip down to Ontario for a show like this?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, this is a big show. Even just traveling around the States and Canada, this has got to be one of the biggest shows I've seen at. How about in your experience being a vendor? Is this the biggest show or?
We have limited experience being vendors, actually.
Okay,
We've
so you're
been
just
to a
starting.
show in Seattle. We've been to a show in Vancouver.
Okay.
So, yes, this is by far the biggest show we've
Okay.
ever been to.
All right, let's talk about Kit Masks. So give us a rundown. What are you guys doing? What are you offering for model builders?
We offer paint masks for primarily aircraft right now and markings for aircraft, so canopy masks, marking masks for aircraft. But we're open to requests for anything, from
Yes.
cars
So
to
custom
yeah,
orders,
armor.
basically.
Yeah, custom orders, you bet.
Yeah,
Any
very
kind
cool.
of genre.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I love all the accessories, anything that can make my life easier as a builder. And so the reason I stopped in their booth is because I just picked up a Lancaster kit, and I thought, there's got to be a mask. Everyone loves a Lancaster. So I started asking Janelle about it. Hey, do you have one of these Hasegawa 72nd? And you told me,
Not at this time.
but you also said that,
We said that we can make one for you. No
Yep.
problem.
yeah, so I'm going to dig out the canopy for my kit, send
Yes.
it home with you.
Brilliant.
And then,
And do you know that after you stopped by our table and asked
Yes.
about that, 4 other people have stopped by
so
our
there
table
you
and
go.
asked
So
about that very kit.
money maker.
Right? Confirmation. It needs to
Yeah.
happen.
So, and I thought that was very interesting. So I was chatting with Janelle, and I was saying, oh, you said, oh, we'll get around to doing that. And then you were kind of explaining how. So how does that work when you're taking on a new request?
So we have something called a made-to-order service, which means that if somebody was interested in having a mask made for a canopy specifically, they can ship us their clear parts. They pay for the shipping to send that to us, but we then make masks for those clear parts, and we pay for the shipping back, and we provide up to 3 of each canopy mask set.
It's pretty sweet. So if you're the first person on your kit and they take it on,
yes,
you get a little bonus there. That's
yeah, you
nice.
definitely do.
Yeah, and it's you're kind of supporting your company.
Yeah.
And this is not your main gig, right? This is kind of like a side
For now.
business. Yeah. Until until you conquer the model world.
Yeah.
But masks are huge. They were a real game changer. Anybody can remember. I don't even think 20 years ago you could get masks, or certainly not at the availability that we're enjoying now in this golden age of modeling.
Yeah.
But 30 years ago, I'd never heard of that. We did it with tape, right?
Yeah.
You cut out your own.
The old manual job.
Yeah, you prayed that it worked as you peeled it back, and then you redid it again and again until you got it right. So it's an awesome service. So is it just something you're running like in your house, or do you have a storefront?
In our house.
Yeah.
Our house has been taken over by Kit Mask Production. It's kind of like it's not a house anymore. And Kevin spends all of his available time every free minute making masks, and he does a really exceptional job. The feedback that we get is that his masks are very precise. He's very meticulous about it.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of him for that. I think he's
awesome.
He's doing a great job.
And I asked you earlier, are you a kit builder? And you said no.
I do not build kits.
Yeah. So Kevin, your partner in crime, is the kit builder, the inspiration.
Yes.
How did you get roped into this?
I don't know. I think
it's all a blur.
His strengths are not in marketing or in customer service. Like, he's excellent with customer service, but he's not excellent with organization and so on. So these were just things I started to take over, and then I fell in love with the whole process, like making the product cards and the website.
Yeah.
And so now I'm very, very involved and passionate about it just as much as he is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful. And I was thumbing through, and I was definitely seeing a lot of World War II, a lot of modern stuff, all aircraft for the most part.
Yeah.
Roundels and canopies is the big one.
Yes.
That's good. And like you said, you're open to taking any kind of project, as long as it sounds like Kevin, if he gets the piece, he can create the mask set.
Or even just the request. Like, he doesn't always need
he can measure
a
up.
piece, like for markings and stuff. We get so many requests for those, and he loves that. He loves to create custom markings. So.
Well, that's awesome. So how long has Kit Mask been around?
Well, technically since 2021. That's when I registered the business name.
Ah, wow, okay.
But since I started participating fully in Kit Mask, which is about a year ago, that's when things started to grow more, because he couldn't manage that with his daytime job, making the masks and stuff. So for about a year, we've been really giving her gusto.
Okay. Well, Scale Model Podcast, we love to support the small cottage-style industries, the garage industries, if you will, and give you guys a boost. So if people want to buy your masks, where are we looking?
They need to go to kitmask.com. So that's KITMASX.com. And everything they need to know about our masks is there, and even ways to contact us. We're very accessible by email, so
perfect.
I hope no one ever hesitates to send us an email. I'm on top of it. I will respond.
Yeah, excellent. And do you have any other show dates lined up in the future?
Yes, we're going to be in Seattle April 26th, and then we're going to be in Vancouver in October. I can't remember the date, but there's a Vancouver IPMS show in October.
Well, local Vancouver model fans, you know where to be. But check out their booth. It's pretty awesome. Like I said, I'm kind of picky with what I want. I want something that's going to be quality and something that's going to help me get my builds a lot faster. That's how my brain works these days, with all the mountain of passion projects I have lined up. But I'm really glad you came over. You were kind of nervous. You thought, "Oh, what's happening here?"
Yeah, I'm glad you had me. Well, it's usually Kevin that if he's going to speak, about the hobby, it's going to be Kevin, because he knows everything. But he insisted that I come over here.
Yeah,
so
I promise I take it easy on you.
Yes, thank you.
No crazy
no techno
questions.
speak.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. And I was very impressed just thumbing through the products. They're well put together. They look like they have clear instructions. They're well packaged. It was a nice little booth. So kudos to you guys. We wish you the best of success.
Thank you.
And check them out, kitmasks.com. Yeah, awesome. So I'm looking forward to my Hasegawa
Lancaster we will whip that
project.
up for you meticulously.
Well, you have to, because I'll be building it tomorrow. It'll be done next week, right? No. Okay, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate having you out, Janelle.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, there we go. And then last and maybe least, we
Why
had-
do you have to assign values to these things?
I
Stu?
don't know. Last but not least, definitely well, we are talking about Frank and Robert Adams.
Okay,
Well,
no, you're
I-
right.
I had a
Insanity.
lovely chat with them, and as we were were about to go, I'm like, that's what we should have recorded. That we should have just left the recorder running with that, and that would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But no,
well.
so anyway, Frank Donati and Robert Adams from the Modeling Insanity podcast were there at the show. Robert came all the way from Alberta, and Robert was the one that did the Moosaroo entry for the Modeling Insanity. And as it turned out, they both ended up using the same Kraken figure and the same sort of theme. So they had a good chuckle talking about that.
Yep.
I had to keep quiet in the Insanity build room on the Discord for the longest time. But it was all well. Everyone thought that was amazing that you two came up with a similar idea.
Well, like I said, it's not that big a stretch
No, but
for
Well, no,
the
you need
concept.
You got to have a creature attacking a submarine. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
eating some Nazis.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
and it happened to be the same model of
Yep.
Kraken. So what do you do? Anyway, we had a good chat with these guys. We always have good fun with the Insanity, and here's their interview now.
All right, we're here, as you know, here at HeritageCon. We get a lot of podcasters show up, and even I can't even believe we're doing this.
No, it's unfortunate, really.
Very
it's
unfortunate.
But
We have
we
Frank.
consider it a mercy killing. In a way.
We have Frank Donati and Robert Adams here from the Modeling Insanity podcast. We're mainly here for Mr. Adams because he's here out of Alberta.
Yeah, we have to deal with Frank.
So low, eh? How could you sink so low?
To have you on, yes, I know.
Very,
it's so
very
bad.
easily, very easily. So, Robert, what do you think?
Well, I got to say that, this should be a multi-day show. You really have to pick kind of what you want to do, but it's fantastic. I mean, you're busy the whole day, whereas like normal regional shows, you look at everything and then you're wondering what to do for the next 5 hours. This certainly isn't that, so I totally appreciate that. Because I didn't get a lot of time to spend at the vendors, I still got a lot of money in my pocket, so I'm good.
You're good. Well, you had a lot of time through the museum, I assume.
That's right. I did go and photograph everything in the museum.
Nice.
Really cool that the Lancasters got all the engine cowls off and exposed. Love that.
Opened up everywhere.
Actually, a lot of the aircraft have open stuff, which is really cool. You don't normally see that, so I totally appreciate that. So I've had a great time here.
Very cool. Frank, how bad or good have you been? Our audience will want to know.
I'm unsupervised.
You're unsupervised.
Which is dangerous.
Chantal
which
is
we
not
know
here.
that.
But-
It's okay, and
but
she
the-
won't listen to this.
But the tether is strong.
The club, Chantal, Frank's wife, is our club sergeant at arms, by the way.
Yes. So, help me. Help me. I purchased, a lot less than I expected. I had some focus tools. I did go see my crack dealer.
You
so,
did?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you
and
couldn't miss him because he's got flashing red lights over there this time.
Mr.
And
Ed
so
Kubiak, yes.
our club treasurer, Bill Webb, came up to me and he's like, Frankie, you got me into armor at IPMS Nationals. I'd like to get some more. So I said, come with me.
Come with me, my child.
Let me lead you to the promised land.
So we went, and I got him to go to see Ed, and he picked up a Tamiya Panzer IIIN, which is a beautiful kit. And then I further coerced him by getting the Das Works Fawn, which is an outstanding truck.
Okay.
Right, and then Ed tried to sell him on a small Panzer I to put in the back, but he wasn't taking none of that. And then the next thing you know is I see Bill over at the barrel store looking for aftermarket tracks for the kit.
Oh
and
dear,
stuff like
you've
that.
got him to the dark side.
So, no, it's been good. You guys know this is my second favorite show in the area after ours.
Yep.
It is overwhelming. We've had a few friends from the States join us, and same thing. They all say this is so much more than you can almost take in one shot, just from the size and your spread.
Yeah,
we
it's
all,
tough.
Dr. Dave, he said the best thing about this show though is that everyone's a fully charged battery. So when you come in here, there's nothing that's draining your battery because it's all like-minded people. The battery is charged and the energy is there, so it makes the show that much more fun. There's really good vibe here, which is probably the best thing. The organization always, IPMS Hamilton, hats off, well done guys. Robin, leadership, excellent. They went online. with their registrations and paying the fees. Brilliant. Rob and I showed up with 20 sheets of paper. We were in and out in about 10. Well, it took the
bingo dabbers took longer to dry than
It did look like a crime scene at the bingo dabber station, but that was it. And I mean, we were set up flawless as usual. Great vendors, great location. I just had lunch. They always do great burgers here, so
awesome.
Nothing to worry.
Okay, let's talk about a little bit about the main controversy of the show. This will be the Mooseroo Cup.
Stuart.
Yeah,
Shenanigans.
You want to arm wrestle?
Robert is accusing me of shenanigans, but
Shenanigans.
as it turned out, our Terry Measley and you yourself, Mr. Adams, came up with the same idea of using a Kraken.
Correct.
I think we just blame Justin for giving you that.
Oh, we could.
We could.
I mean, we should.
I say we blame
Actually,
him.
we should.
We'll just blame. We'll
That
just
seems
blame
fair.
Justin.
That seems fair. Blame Justin.
Yeah.
Blame Justin.
Justin, if you're listening to this,
Usually
you're
they
out of
like
the
blame
show.
Canada, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So we'll just blame Justin. But yeah, they both use the same Kraken figure in two completely different ways, which are awesome.
And they're both awesome. That's
they're
the
both-
downside.
yeah,
But Terry's is so much more awesome.
not that we're being biased. I feel really sorry for the judges.
I don't feel sorry for the judges.
Oh, they're gonna. Well, hopefully they have an easy job.
Honestly, all the bills were interesting and a little bit different, and the whole focus this time was not on the model.
no,
it was
the
how you present
It was the vignette,
Yeah.
and that was the kicker, and it was just like, I don't know what to do with this thing, man.
El Presidente, he fully comprehended the mission, because when you look at his final, right, he's got it presented. He's got the shadow box around it. He's got the title in the bottom, the moonlight, right? Like
Yep. That's a good contender
Tim
as well.
from the Model Geeks nailed it as far as what was the intent from Hamilton for this cup, as far as taking that ICM dual submarine kit and making something with it. So, I mean, ours is the best, but I have to give El Presidente some props. He must have been listening to D-Ran again and came out with something that's.
And like, how tempted were you to use this? Try and incorporate the second sub, because I was thinking about it, and then I was like,
Yeah, no one did. So
no one did.
Second sub firing a torpedo at the Kraken.
No, I was going to have it looking like the Kraken had just destroyed that one, and it was on to number 2, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm like, I got to break it in half, and I've already put all the stuff on the base, and now I got to drill holes, and so I was like, it's beyond that point.
And you could have had
Sorry.
sharks feasting on what's inside this.
I mean, there's so much you could do.
Yeah.
Right, once you start getting into it, but then it's like, does Michaels have any little sharks? Nah.
My big question now is, what's next?
Oh yeah, what's the next
Who's
one?
building for you guys next?
Anthony's going to.
Anthony volunteered last night at dinner.
Yeah.
Fool.
And he wasn't drinking.
Because otherwise it was going to be me, and I'm frickin' building these review models. You keep getting shipped over.
Isn't it supposed to be a different host each year?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so,
it is.
Yeah, so it's Anthony's turn, and then it'll be me.
Yeah, and we elected Justin, and so Riv was like, he's like, Frankie, what have they been building? So I went through some of the previous Mooseroo Cups. He's like, no cars. He goes, Justin, he's our car guy.
I know, but they try and do what normally is not in your wheelhouse.
I know.
But the thing is, we got to. When it started, and it was just you and the guys down in Aussie land. It was easy to sort of figure out what was in your wheelhouse. Now you got a lot of different wheelhouses out there, so I think pretty much everything's covered.
Yeah, and I think the Lucas C group is going to be joining in this year as well, right?
They've asked to join, so
But that's fun. The more I was our participant last year, and I had a great time.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed building it, and
Don't lie, that kit sucked.
Not a great kit. Not a great kit.
the kit
You did
sucked.
an awesome job. That kit sucked.
Thank you, Rob. Yeah, it turned out nice. I got to bring it here too, which was great. And Mike from the Mojo had his here too, so it was nice to see them together.
Yeah, we had a couple.
And then, but like, it was still fun to do with the other guys. So I'm looking forward to what shows up this summer. I'm quite intrigued to see what they're going to come up with
we'll
next.
find out around nationals.
See, they're waiting for Stuart again, because then he's going to do a 700 ship.
With photo etch,
With
they'll
photo
do that
etch,
just to
yeah.
piss me
They'll give him
off.
a Flyhawk
Speaking
ship.
of that, did you see that deal on the border models Yamato over there?
Oh yeah, I did. I
It's like
promptly ignored it.
$100 off, man.
Yep. I don't need
You know,
another
Stuart, with your Yamato experience, that could be the
someone
kit for
else.
you.
Someone else talked me into buying a Italian battleship Roma
Really?
for $20.
Who would have
I wonder-
done that?
Who would have done that?
Who at this point?
Who's the other enabler in this table?
Who at this table might have done that?
I am not now, nor have I ever been a member of the Communist Party, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
All right,
yes.
we're gonna to wrap this up because hopefully we will get a result soon.
Hopefully, we'll get our award for the Moosaroo Cup very shortly.
Let's hope for it. If not, the protest flag's going up.
Oh, absolutely. Shenanigans.
All right. Thank you again for joining us. Any time you're welcome on. Even you, Frank.
I know. I'm your backup. If Geoff can't make it, head injury, car accident, brake line cut.
Yeah, any of those things.
Probate,
all of
whatever.
which happens usually when you're around.
Everything's good. I'm happy I spent the time and rapid fire time to get here, but I'll go home happy and recharge. So.
That's been great meeting you, bro.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
It's been awesome.
I've been talking about, like, Rob and I started our friendship 6 years ago in the next couple months. And he knows I've been coming to this every year, and it's been his dream, was because this is our Canadian Nationals.
It really is.
Period.
This really is.
And so, when he was like, Frankie, someone's giving me air miles, I can come out. I said, doors open, get over here.
Yeah.
So,
the air miles didn't happen, though. I ended up paying for this.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? You came anyway.
Worth every penny.
And you come back in May. We're going to go back and do a little trip to the States.
Yeah, you're going to go to AMPS.
We're going to go to AMPS Nationals.
A lot of the airlines are doing sales these days, too, because nobody's traveling.
Don't.
Oh, here we go.
When you get onto the airline and they're like, "Yeah, it's a seat sale. It's $100."
Yeah, and then it costs you $400 for.
Then add your breathing fee, your seating fee.
Yeah.
Your suitcase fees.
Yeah, fees to ensure
on
that
top
no
of
violence will be
Now
caused
you're back
against
up
you.
to $650.
I know. Never fails.
Whereas I can fly to Denver for less.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in Canada, but it is what it is.
A lot of it's airport fees,
We
too.
tariff ourselves, I think.
Yeah, we do.
I think so.
We absolutely do.
Oh no, the airline system in this country, like, this isn't editorial, but it sucks. And I'd rather drive than fly anywhere. Even I drive to Rob's house before I flew, and he's in Medicine Hat. So
that means I'm never going to see it because you're never going to drive that far.
Why not? I drove to my dad's for a weekend, and he's in Quebec City.
And I'm in Alberta. It's quite a bit further than that.
Challenge accepted, motherfucker.
Okay.
You see how these fight? You see what happens when mom and dad fight?
Yeah, no, it's when he's unsupervised.
Terrible.
And it's you kids that pay the price for this.
I know, Dad, Mom, stop it! Don't fight.
No, it's been great.
All right.
Yeah, it's great,
you guys, and thanks for all your stuff, Stuart.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing that swordfish done. So, all right. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
All righty. Now, the important question. How bad was everyone?
Well,
Geoff,
Terry
let's
was not
start-
bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found a Gearwalk Super Batroid, Super Valkyrie Miria edition because I'm using the Batroid one for this build here, and I would like to actually build one of hers as well with that kind of pinkish red color that she has. Very good. What else did I get? That was at Brochdale I bought the P39 from Arma Hobbies. So I'm watching Chris Williams' information with great interest. He said he had some challenges with it, so I'll be careful to note that. What else did I got? Another kit. At Neo Tokyo I bought another Dreadnought, another Yamato Dreadnought because
Why not?
why not? Yeah.
Why not?
And then some supplies here and there.
There you go.
So and some bases, these 3D printed bases from one of Anthony's buddies.
Mm-hmm.
They're bright, they're colorful, they're easy, you can put down. So I got a Rising Sun one that's kind of a teardrop shape, a 8th Air Force insignia one, which is nice, and a U.S. Navy, just the stars, just the star and bars one, not with the roundels inside it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So those should be good. Those will be suitable for 48 scale for sure.
Awesome. Good stuff. Geoff, how about you?
Well, yes. We got there early, Stuart and I did. And before 9 o'clock, it opened at 9 to the public, I think it was. So I was wandering around at some vendors, and unfortunately, I parted ways with enough money, unfortunately, to basically bankrupt me for the rest of the day before the thing even opened, because I came across a few guys who were selling wingnut kits. And as our audience knows, I happen to like wingnut kits. And so I picked up two, a Sop with Camel, which unfortunately turns out I already had. But I'm happy to have two.
I'm shaking my head here. I'm shaking my head.
I know. I picked up a shop with camel, a shop with pup, and then I picked up a Copper State, my first Copper State models kit of a Bristol Scout, all 132nd scale. And the Copper State, I got to tell you, man, they're great. And it and the pup both had some aftermarket stuff in it, guns and seats and wicker seats and stuff.
Good.
Overall, on average, $70 each. So I'm thinking that's a good price. So
That's
I was
a good
happy
deal.
with that. That was a good price. Then I picked up a couple of these things from Sean's Custom Hobby Tools, Custom Model Tools, SCM Tools. These are the glue holders.
Yep.
Because I have on far too many occasions got excited while building and knocked over an open bottle of extra thin and ruined whatever it was I was working on. So I figured, screw this. I'm getting two of these, one for the extra thin and one for the super hot extra thin.
There you go. Now all you need is you need one for the build room there and one for the build room at the other house.
I know.
You got to start thinking about that.
Yeah.
I didn't think far enough ahead, but I'm not there yet. I'm at the stage of ordering drywall for the other house. So we're getting close.
We're getting close.
I picked up some Albion alloy tubes. I've been trying to get those for years. Picked those up from Flexifile. Also some CA glue from Flexifile guys who were great. And what else did I get? I got a bunch of little tooly type things. Anyway, whatever. It was quite expensive. I know. Larry Watson from our club didn't talk me into. I made the mistake of asking him what tool he used for scribing, because I've always had, and I complained about this before on the show, I've had a lot of trouble finding a decent scriber.
Okay.
And so he guided me to this the same guy that you bought all your little ships from, Stuart.
Argama
Aragama Hobbies.
Yes.
They had this really good scriber. It's right here. Malanga. So anyway, whatever. It's Japanese or Asian, and it's a super stainless steel. This thing will not, will never wear out. And Larry swears by it. And Larry is an IPMS Nationals contest winner. And if he says it's good, then I'm going to go with that. So I picked one up, and that was more than I would have normally spent for a scribing tool, but it's not going to wear out. So
very good.
There's that.
Then there's myself. I actually did something which I thought no one is probably not normally can do at a model show. I ended up in profit.
You've been waiting all
night to say this.
All night to say it. So I started off at Argama Hobbies. I got a bunch of these little Bandai, little kits similar to the Star Wars kits, but from Star Blazers, 2199 and 2202. Little tiny dreadnought ships. I also picked up, they also had there, and I think this one's from the original Star Blazers.
Yep.
So a slightly larger Earth dreadnought.
Yep.
And picked up a set of marker pens from Cooper's Hobbies because I needed a yellow. Great for doing propeller wingtips. The AK acrylic marker pens. I didn't have the yellow yet. So picked up that. And then despite Frank Donati's son, who's normally a good luck charm for everyone, if you give him your raffle tickets, you usually win. I actually won one thing out of like 10 tickets, but it was
huge.
It was a huge. How would we describe it, Terry? It's like was it a Gundam or?
It was a Gundam, but I don't know which one that was.
But it was 1/48 scale. It was huge, probably worth between 100 and 120, according to Peter Fay, who is our other Gundam expert.
He would know.
He would know. And it was huge. And as I was leaving, I ran to a member of IPMS Hamilton because I was debating if I was going to build it or sell it. And he said, "Oh, I'm really jealous that you won that because it was the one thing I really wanted in the raffle table." And I said, "Well, how much are you willing to pay for it?" And he offered me $90, and I said, "Sure." And so if I combine my other purchases, I'm actually technically in profit about $25.
Nice.
Now we don't count gas or anything, but I couldn't believe it. So I ended up with just 4 kits, but I'm pleased with it. They're good sizes, nice for the, because I'm running out of display space for now. And these, I'm looking forward to building them. So we'll see what I come up with. So we'll make sure we all take pictures of our acquisitions for the show notes this time. We'll make sure we do that.
I also got one of the Schiffer Legends of Warfare.
Oh, on the Grumman J2F
The Grumman
duck.
J2F duck.
Very nice.
Yep.
Is that series good, Terry?
It's excellent.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
and I should have bought more because the pricing especially at that show, it is exceptionally low.
There was a lot of booksellers there, a lot of books going back and forth. Our good friend Kentucky Dave from the Mojo, he bought more books than kits. And he got some really good deals. And he tends to do that though.
I hope he's driving because that would be an extra weight charge for him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, with what he had there, exactly. But no, he was quite pleased. He got 2 out of the 3 volume set of the RC History of the RCAF for $20 a piece, which should normally be 50. Yeah. And good for him. So
and Kentucky Dave also, we should give him a bit of a shout out because he's on Canadian territory and he was wearing an original IPMS Canada Sweaty Beaver T-shirt.
He was indeed. He was indeed representing the. Well, he has to be polite, right?
Yes,
He's
exactly.
up in enemy territory. See, Terry's an honorary Canadian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's not a problem there. But yeah, no, overall a fantastic show. Good weather for driving. What more can we say?
It was great.
I had a great time. We'll see if I can get up there next time. I'm not sure, but we'll
always
see what every year brings.
Yep, always good to have you up here, Terry.
Well, kudos to IPMS Hamilton for putting on a great show. Really.
Yeah. Even if they didn't pick the right Mooseru Cup winner.
Even if they didn't. Yeah.
Even if they didn't. All right. We're gonna move on. We mentioned Sean's Custom Model Tools. They were there at the show. And here's the ad from them. Now we're going to talk a bit about Sean's Custom Model Tools, one of our other sponsors of the Scale Model podcast. Some very cool things, both 3D printed and the Goodman Super Sanding Blocks. Let's start with the Microset and Microsole decal set bottle stand. This is purposely designed for the microscale set and sole. Most modelers over the years, they've tipped these bottles over. So this is a very handy thing. At $14.95, you can put them both together. They're printed in blue and red for easy identification. Comes with a black base, and they actually have little magnets on it, so it helps keeps them in place. Definitely a good deal. I use mine all the time, and I can well recommend them. Let's talk a bit about those Goodman Model Super Sanding Blocks, namely the Value Pack Combo for $28.99. You get the 80 grit, 180 grit, 220, 320, 400, and 600. Just an amazing set, just what you need. And you can also, if you want, you can also get a super sanding block stand for it, which also really makes life a little bit easier, helps things keep it organized. The other thing too is they have the awesome model tape dispenser for your various tapes. It's basically a 3D printed thing. You put spools of your tapes. It's got a little razor blade to help cut it, and it's really, really good design. So yeah, works out really well, and yours for $19.95. So check out these and other amazing deals at Sean'sCustomModelTools.com, and also on Facebook, and tell them that the Scale Model Podcast sent you. All right, what's on the bench? So I'll start. I got the Westland Whirlwind done, the Trumpeter 148th, except for the landing gear doors. I put them somewhere. I painted them. I painted them. I painted the interior. They were on I used paint sticks, paint canisters, to put them, and that's the last time I saw them. So I'm not sure. I've obviously put them somewhere really safe. Normally I would put them back in the box, but they weren't there.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, they were the best doors you've ever done.
Oh, obviously, museum quality legends.
Scale thickness
And everything. Exactly. Hand riveted. So I put the Whirlwind in the display case. I eventually will find the 4 missing parts of the landing gear doors, but not a bad kit.
Yeah.
Fits.
What did we tell you about putting stuff in safe places?
I know. Fits very tight though.
Just don't.
I was painting a top coat on it, and then the fit was so tight, one of the seams for the engines split open a bit. So I had to do a bit of swearing and emergency repairs there, but no, it's all right. The 148 Tamiya Sherman Firefly, it's at the decal stage. So looking forward to doing that. Not much building or planning beyond that, as I'm going to be busy because my wife comes home. We're recording this on Monday. My wife comes home Thursday after 6 months in the hospital. So we're really happy about that, but it means I'm going to be very busy.
You got a lot of cleaning to do.
I've been doing cleaning all week, but it's after that.
A lot of pizza boxes to get rid of.
Yeah, a lot of pizza boxes, a lot of stuff like that. There's going to be, we're going to hopefully get a bit of home care, but there's still going to be a lot of work. I'm back, cooking for two, stuff like that. My bachelor days are done.
Well, I do hope that that Alicia comes home and fits in comfortably rather than having to struggle. So
Oh yeah, no, and I know the cats are looking forward to having her back. Although the first thing we're doing is when she gets in, we're going to the kitchen, we're grabbing the cats, we're going to cut all their claws back, trim their claws back, because that's a two-person job. I can't do it on my own.
But they're getting to be like Howard Hughes's cats, eh?
Oh, just about. They're not going to know what hit them. Like mom's home. Guess what that means? Claws get cut again. You have to behave. I'm hoping, because right now we've had one separate, the female Ebony, because the youngest males are being a butthead. So hopefully with Mummy back and she's the cat whisperer, we'll get them back together. So I won't have to keep them separate. Geoff, how about you?
Well, I forgot to mention, I picked up the IBG 172 Gotha GO 242A-1, which is an assault glider from World War II. I picked it up from Frank Donati, who was given it by IBG for a review article, so somebody to do a review article. So I volunteered and I started working on that, and that's what I've been working on. This is a gorgeous kit, I'll tell you. If you ever want to do a World War II German assault glider, this is the one to do. It's beautiful, and I'm doing an article, writing it up for IPMS Canada. I don't know if they'll publish it, but I got some questions into to the guys there now to find out what they want. But I recommend it. It's a great kit, worth doing. And I've also playing around with a couple of terrible little kits. This A model Soviet era seaplane, which is about a thumbnail long, and that's been kind of fun too. So just putzing around, but still at the same time, I'm heavily engaged in finishing our basement renovations and our house renovations, and that takes precedence over model building. But right now we're hiding down at the lake, and that gives me pure modeling time. So
good for you. Good for you. Alrighty, Terry.
Oh, I still doing a little bit of work on that Valkyrie, that Batroid here and there. Mostly though, trying to get some of the organization in that big toolbox, building some trays. I figured out that the top trays, of course, they're smaller because that's why those toolboxes work, but they're also very shallow. So when I built it out of the same foam core, that 5 millimeters made a difference, and I couldn't put some of the stuff back in standing up. So I may have to just get some heavy card stock or something and build onto that, or build them without a bottom. I might just build stuff without a bottom.
There is. I did start a thread on Facebook.
Yeah,
some people have contributed their workbench spaces, so there's a lot of good ideas there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot I can do with the space itself, but I can certainly use the space better than it is.
Well, that's one thing maybe I'm hoping when I have this break from modeling the next couple of weeks, if I can carve some time and see if I can figure out what else I can do, make it a bit better. We'll see. We want to get rid of a lot of stuff in the house, do some purging. Once she feels better, we're gonna start with her stuff. So
I still need to figure out how to build some better antennae for this phalanx too, but
guitar string, mentioned here.
Guitar string. Yeah, I was talking with one of the armor vendors there who's filling a lot of detail sets, and so he just builds them out with guitar string.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I've seen that before. I think it's the high E that they typically use for the whip antennas.
Got to get it right. Make sure it's
so maybe somebody will have a dead high E guitar string and send it to me. I have to ask my brother.
There you go. That could be an idea.
Yeah. Then I just need to make some sort of mount because they actually go into the side, so it's like a T-mount.
Right. Okay. Cool. Interesting. Okay, and what we're reading. So I'm almost done. Haven't had much time for reading because I've been cleaning, but almost done Traces by Stephen Baxter. And I just started a new one recommended from a podcast I was listening to called Your Hidden Genius by Betsy Wills and Alex Elson. And the premise behind it is everyone's got natural abilities. You gets kind of locked in after puberty, and it stays with you. So I've literally just started the introduction, but it's got some good reviews, and when you buy the book, it also includes an assessment you can do online, and it'll tell you what some of your natural abilities are. So I thought that might be interesting. It's kind of like those old strength finders books they had about 10, 20 years ago, where you do an assessment about your strengths and weaknesses. So, but this is a lot more. There's like dozens of different natural things people may have. So yeah, I'm gonna have a look at that one, and we'll see what happens there.
But to be fair, Stuart, I mean, at our age, if you haven't figured out what your natural ability,
I know, but you never know. You never know, right? Like you look
Well,
at
it may, yeah, and that's the difference between, talents and skill. And I hate when people say, "Oh, you're very talented." It's like, no, I worked hard
yeah,
to figure out how to do all this stuff. I didn't jump out of fifth grade knowing how to use a camera well,
yeah,
or
exactly.
it's talent only takes you so far, but that's you use that to build your skills.
Yep. No, the
exactly.
book didn't cost much from it. I ended up getting it from Amazon. And no, like I said, it comes with the assessment, so why
Mm,
not? What the heck?
sure.
We'll see what comes out with it. Jeff, how about you?
Me? Oh, I'm still just sort of, by the end of the day, I'm pretty much exhausted. So I just pick up a Time Life History of the Second World War book volume and start reading it and trying to get inspiration for diorama opportunities or anything like that.
Cool.
But the one thing reading these books, what I find is it's amazing how different. These were great reference books at the time, and they still are. They're still very good reference books. But we are such a YouTube generation now where you get a three-dimensional animated map showing how lines are moving and where things are going when we're talking about battles, that I'm looking at these maps and I'm trying to tie it to the text that I'm reading, and it just never seems to tie the way my mind is now thinking because of all the YouTube work that we've gone through. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm reading this and I'm wishing it's like there's a guy who does these great histories of American Second World War Navy battles, and he's got a great one on the Battle of Midway, which is amazing. And it just shows minute by minute whose decisions are being made and how things are screwing up on both sides. And it really brings things into perspective that you don't get from a static map. So anyway, very interesting.
Very cool.
That's
Terry.
me.
Yeah, interesting. I'm about halfway through Baxter's Moonseed, and they're just now figuring out what's actually happening and starting to put a plan together to address it. Hopefully, maybe we presume it will work.
I'm not gonna no spoilers.
Yep. If not, well, we're only halfway through. Things could go anywhere.
Yep, exactly.
And they probably will, right?
And they
Well,
will.
that's what makes him such a good author. You just don't know from chapter to chapter.
I wasn't
what's
sure
gonna
where they were
happen.
going with this because the other ones were fairly obvious where they're going with it, right?
Yeah.
This is a different,
Very different. You'll
challenge.
find. Yep.
Right. And also still reading chapter 1 of the Apothecary Diaries, on which the fantastic anime was built.
Cool.
Yep.
Very cool. Okay, things we've seen. Terry, is this you?
Yeah, I'll see if I can get my buddy Vernon Clark, to make an album. He's doing one of the Space 1999 Eagles. I'm not sure which one it is. It's not the huge one,
Right.
but it's not a small one either, and he's doing an excellent job on it. He's just getting to doing all those decals of all the markings and everything, and it's white, so always difficult.
Always.
Yep.
Just have to use the spaceship white.
Yeah. Well, my white's not actually a white. It's a very, very light gray.
Yeah.
It looks better. Yeah, so hopefully he's at Wonderfest and I get to see it there.
Good
We're
stuff.
also doing the call is out for some more hardware demos for Wonderfest. I think I've got 5 of them So I've got still have some more space.
Very good. Very good. Alrighty. Good stuff. All right. Any other last words, gentlemen?
Last words. That sounds terribly final.
Well, the last words for this episode.
Qualification.
Qualification there. Nothing?
Nothing. Nope.
Nope.
I don't
All
think
right.
so.
For more modeling podcast goodness, check out the other modeling podcasts at modelpodcast.com. That is a site that I set up with all the other podcasters, and you can get one-stop access to all their links for your podcast. Every show's got a different and unique vibe. And we can definitely all agree on that.
We can agree on that. Yes.
Okay. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and our very own website, scalemodelpodcast.com. I also do unboxing videos. Inbox reviews are available at blackfire.ca. I just did the space carrier battleship. This one here from Star Blazers. Just posted that one there.
It's the red multi-deck.
The red multi-deck. Yep.
Yeah.
It's got a name. Daryl.
Or is that not a I don't know. I don't know which. That's not a multi-deck one.
Yeah, but they do have multi-deck ones. But
yeah,
I've done that. It's the first of four I'll do from my HeritageCon stash. We also have merchandise at Redbubble. And so for the Scale Model Podcast, episode 155, my name is Stuart Clark.
I'm Geoff Highland.
I'm Terry Measley, reminding you to build your skills.
Excellent.
Build your skills, whatever they might be.
That's whatever.
Couldn't really come up with much this time.
I like it. Thank you, and be well.